Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson. As always, our lesson today is going to be thesis statements because this is where I always begin with. We cannot have general studies without essay topics, and then we cannot have essay topics without thesis statements. How do you begin your essay? Your introduction is very important, very vital when it comes to essay writing. That is why I always bring back this topic to you so that you always keep on track, so that you don't fail to get to know what is really required when you are writing an essay. What is a thesis statement? We all have things we consider when we are going to write a topic because we are given a priority or we are given a chance to write about our own opinions. So with essay writing, much as we are writing about our own opinions, we need to follow the rules for us to be able to write a good essay. So that is where the topic of thesis comes in. Here we say that a thesis statement can be defined as a short sentence that summarizes the main point or claim of an essay. It is usually the anchor of your essay. It is usually the anchor. It holds your essay together. It shows us where we are going. When we are reading, we, the readers, we are able to tell where we are going through your thesis statement. It can also be defined as a concise, arguable summary of what your essay is about, and it can be supported by evidence from your work. So when we are introducing our work, we have what we call the introduction, and the introduction consists of three parts. That is the hook, we have the transition, and then the thesis. So the thesis comes third when it comes to the introduction. It comes at the last part of your introduction. You don't have to forget about your thesis. It must be included in whatever you are writing. So how do you write a good thesis statement? Writing a good thesis statement requires some of the major things that include: it should always be at the end of your introduction. It acts as a compass to keep you on track of what you are doing. Remember, when you're so much into whatever you are writing about, it is very easy to forget about what you are writing about, or it's very easy to misfire. But whenever you have a thesis, you're always back on track. It should also be arguable. Your thesis should be an arguable point, not a fact. Always come up with an insight of what you are arguing about, because this will help you come up with an arguable point that is going to be so convincing to your readers. So when we are writing thesis statements, we come up with arguable points, arguable statements. We do not write about facts because a fact is not going to be argued about. It is already a fact and everyone knows it. Even children who were born yesterday can be able to tell that this is the truth. So with your thesis, you have to drag us into arguing out your thesis. So you are writing this arguable point because you want us to see what you are seeing, so that you are able to convince us about what you're really seeing. Maybe somehow you can win our hearts to draw us to you. Your thesis should be a fact. It should not be a fact, sorry. Always base your arguable point on your opinion because you need to prove it with evidence from your work. So you cannot base your thesis or your arguable point on someone else's opinion about what you're writing. It should be your opinion because you're going to be able to defend it in the essay that you're going to give. Then we have an example here. Homeschooling is the best way of teaching students, so the government should invest so much money in it. Homeschooling is the best way of teaching students, so the government should invest so much in it. Look at this. This is an arguable point and it is a thesis. So when you give us such a thesis, that means you are going to defend it, because so many people out there think homeschooling is not the best way. So what you're trying to do here is to draw us to you. We need to be drawn to you. Show us what makes you think that homeschooling is the best way of teaching students and why you think the government should invest in it. So we move on. We have some common mistakes in writing a thesis. Some of them are funny, like we can say funny mistakes. Funny mistakes. These include presenting a fact instead of an argument. You present a fact, for example, a glass, windows are made of glass. Someone else will say, but some windows are made of wood. Yes, but all those are facts. We cannot argue them out. Then we have another, which is it should be viable and logical. Your thesis statement should be logical. That means it should make sense. Then another one is your reader should always be able to challenge your argument. Your reader should always be able to challenge your argument. It should be debatable, like some of the debaters do. It should be debatable. That is why we said it should be arguable. So here we have an example which is very controversial. For example, a poor diet can be controlled among the poor. A poor diet can be controlled among the poor. This is a thesis, but it is a thesis which is not making a stand, because the way it is a fact. How do you make it and then turn it to be an arguable point? Add some more information. You add some more information to make it more arguable. I can leave that more information for you to think about. Then we have another, which is presenting your thesis too early in your introduction. That is a wrong thing. You cannot present. That is another mistake that you always do. Presenting your thesis in the introduction too early. Then it should always be logical to intrigue your readers by presenting a hook first, followed by a transition, or briefly introducing your topic and adding relevant background information, thus ending your thesis. I can repeat that statement. It's always logical to intrigue your readers by presenting a hook first, followed by a transition, or briefly introducing your topic and adding relevant background information, thus ending your thesis. I need you to try it out. For those who have never tried it out, for those who have tried it out, please keep on trying to come up with better ones all the time. Then making uncertain statements, that is by using words like I believe, I think, in my humble opinion. Remember, when we are writing a thesis, this is going to be the anchor, like it's the one making us, like it is the one getting your paper, holding your paper up. So if it is not good, then it's not going to be allowed. So if you say, I believe, I think, in my humble opinion, it's like it's your own opinion. Other people don't even know about it. So you need to show us proof that you are certain with what you are writing, or whatever you're writing is very concrete. So we can say another mistake is making a thesis too broad. Whenever a thesis statement is too broad, it reduces on its strength and it may go out of hand. Make the reader feel certainty in the writer's work. When your thesis is very broad, it might go out of hand. We might not see where you are dragging us to, and you might also get confused on the way. That is why we said in the beginning that your thesis statement should be concise, precise, and straight to the point. Then lastly, making a thesis statement a question. Whenever you make your thesis a question, it fails to be arguable. It fails to be an arguable statement. Therefore, it cannot be argued about. Always focus on firm statements that can always be argued about and challenged by your readers. Please try to write a thesis statement following these steps so that you don't miss out. Thank you very much. Thank you.